What's going on, everybody? Once again, this is Captain Chaos for Pirate Boxing. Today, I have a very special, good episode for you guys. I'm going to introduce to you a true entrepreneur and a true boxing mogul. Without further ado, I would like to introduce to you guys none other, none the less, my good friend Shalom Jones.
Oh man, thank you, man. Thank you. Boxing mogul, I like that.
Sha, real quick, man. We got a good brother. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. How long have you been in the game?
In the game, about 10 years, man. Going hard. 2012. I was honestly say since 2012. Media. Yeah, media. Behind the scenes things. Yeah, 2012. About 10 years now.
When did you get your first big break?
I don't know. I would say, I came up with a couple things. Earl Spence that kind of took off. Other fighters, but I gotta say Earl Spence, Team Spence, so it don't make sense. That's the source quote. Source started that way. So I'll probably say Earl Spence.
Okay, so Errol Spence, okay. And then you developed a good relationship, a great relationship with probably one of the best prospects we got coming out of New York City, specifically Long Island. What's the name of that fighter that you have?
Oh, Jihad Tucker, yeah, Jihad Tucker. Yes.
Now, how did you meet Jihad?
Me, I'm in the amateur game. I was at an amateur show in Nassau Coliseum, and one of his trainers, came up to me, and another guy from the gym from Suffolk, and his trainer was like, big on him. I got a kid that is 16. Jihad was 16 at the time, and he was like, you got to come to the gym and check out Jihad. I was like, I know who Jihad Tucker is. I was out of your gym. Because like I said, I follow the kids in the amateur. Jihad's he was a standout, like international guy. So I was like, oh, Jihad? So I go to the gym now. I meet him. I really don't say nothing. I just sit back and I observe. I'm watching him. I'm seeing his work ethic. I'm seeing what he's doing. And then I interviewed him because like I said, I'm a media guy too. So I interviewed him just to, talk to him, to see where his head is at, how he conducts himself with an interview, and I was blown away. I was impressed. So interviewing, I'm like, man, he's 16, but he's way mature over his age. He doesn't hold himself like a 16-year-old. And
right.
Then I started going to the gym all the time. He had a couple of shows. This is all before COVID. And I'm cool with his dad and everything, and he was ready to go pro. So when he was ready to go pro, now like I said, I know a couple people, and it was an easy pitch. Like I was like, I sent his USA boxing stuff to somebody that I know that's connected with James Prince, and I also sent it over to shout out to Jamel Herron, because Jamel Herron and his team was interested too. So both of them was like, Jamel Herron instantly hit me back like, yo, we want to sign him. And I told us all that they was in contact with Jamel Herron and his people, and they was also in contact with James Prince and also Tan Goosen. So it was like a three-way thing between those three guys, and they won with James Prince.
So you're basically telling me that it was a three-way tug of war for your client, Jihad Tucker.
Oh yeah, three people was interested in him. Yeah.
And you were the one to get that deal done.
I didn't get it done, but I put it like this: I was instrumental in getting it done.
So you would say you're like a Rick Glazer. You know what I'm saying? You were.
Yeah. That's why I want to ask. I want to speak with Rick. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Right. So you're like one dot crosses another dot, and then boom. You know, you were the one connecting the dots that actually made it happen.
Yes. Yes, you could say
Okay.
that. Yeah, that's
So and you
that's
also
a fair.
a fair assumption.
Yes.
So now and then you also have other businesses that you have also, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. The hats right here.
Which I
You
have
see it, but
on.
I have. Yes, I have merchandise. I do more.
Right.
I have the sneakers. I'm gonna send you all the links. I have
We're gonna put all
Italian
that in there.
customized. I have Italian customized, handmade designer sneakers. The Seymour.
So now if I brought you a fighter, right? I said, listen, Shah, man, I got this guy, man. I think I think the guy's the kid has potential, right? You would set up a like a sparring session or something, right? You set it up.
Yeah, well, first what I would do is, I'll do my own research on them first, right?
Right.
I'll check like most of these guys with like James Princes and Jamel Herons, Tangooses, they want the crumb de la crumb, like the best of the best. So I will first make sure that he's that good, and then I would, like I did with Jihad, I'll make a phone call and I would, say to my contact, like, yo, you might check this kid out,
Right. Right.
and then that's when, that sort of thing happens. They would check him out and, send him in for an audition, which you're basically saying about the sparring and stuff like that.
So now backstage we have with us another young man that I'm very fond of, man. He's a very he's a very very good individual. Also has a business on the side, also is a great fighter, comes out of Freeport PAL. Was in Freeport PAL, and I just want to bring him on to see what advice you could give him in regards to being an entrepreneur, because you definitely are an entrepreneur, and also on how a fighter can get to the level where he can come to you and say, look, man, this is what I have. What do I have to get better? So, you could get a good look at me. You know what I'm saying? What is it that I have to do? So, hopefully, we could have him on. Do we have him on? Is he ready to come on? Let me see if he's ready to come on. Hold on. Let me see. Give me 1 second. But you know what? While I'm getting this, Alan is ready. Okay, Alan's ready to go, and Alan should be coming on now. Alan, can you hear us?
What?
Alan.
What?
Alan, can you hear us, Alan? Hold on. Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
So now, what are you working on right now? As he popped up?
Yeah, and then he popped back off.
What are you working on
now? March 19th, Jihad got a.
And you're definitely going to be there, right? You're there for all his fights?
Most of them, yeah. This will be the second consecutive. I went to a couple in the bubble, because you remember he turned pro when it was bubble boxing. So
right.
It was kind of with the bubble, it was the bubble. Only in a lot amount of team members was allowed, but the last couple of fights I have definitely been at the live gates ones. Yeah.
And you were one of the very few that was allowed in the bubble, because you were definitely part of the team.
Yeah, I went to the February one. Yeah, last February when he fought February 13th bubble. I was there, Vegas. Great time.
Now, what do you see in the future for Jihad?
I think he's gonna be a world champion, man. A lot sooner than what people think. He's gonna be one of the special ones, man. Definitely gonna be one of the special ones.
Okay. And now he said he also has younger brothers too, right?
Yeah, two younger brothers. One is still a baby, but he'll probably be there one day. But his younger brother, shout out to Jamali Tucker, 12 years old, fights out of 101. He's the number 3 ranked fighter in the nation. Very highly
Number 3
skilled.
ranked fighter.
Yes.
And regards to this, who are they trained by?
The father, their father, and also
Trains all of them.
Nah, they got a couple trainers. You have Joe Harris. You also have Coach Terry Simpson, who works with a lot of fighters. That's one of Andre Rozier's chief seconds. Terry Simpson is also one of the trainers. Then you have Coach Dennis, Coach Abraham. Yeah, it's a couple coaches.
So you definitely, being that you're dealing with your high, and you also have a relationship with his younger brothers, that means that you must have a great relationship with the father, correct?
Yes.
How is that? Dealing with a father of a fighter. Is it demanding, or is it like very nice, smooth relationship? No issues, or can it be demanding at times?
That's I pretty much say, like I said, I've been around this before, so
Right.
To be honest, with them, it's a family atmosphere. I can honestly say, like, their structure, is second to none. Like, it speaks for itself. To be where he's at now, he's 19, but you got to remember, he's been a pro now for 2 years. He turned professional before he got his diploma in high school. He had his first professional fight on ESPN at 17 years old, and then a couple months he received his diploma. So that in itself was, I was amazed, man. And just to see where he's at in 2 years is, it's incredible.
I think Alan's ready to come on now. Hopefully he's ready to come on now, and we can chop it up with Alan, and you can give him some insight. Alan, can you hear us? Alan, can you hear us?
This camera's good.
Yeah, we just can't get no audio. Hold on. Hold on. Nope, guess not. But we'll continue chopping it up. So hold on, he's back on. Oh, he's not. But anyway, so now, what else do you have going on right now?
A lot, man. Right now I currently help a lot of the younger kids out at Suffolk PL. Shout out to Suffolk PL, Brentwood Rec. One of our guys fought last night in Church Street Gym. He got a stoppage, but it's a young core of fighters coming up in Suffolk, ranging from the ages of 16, a couple of 13-year-olds. Then you have Marley Tucker, who is 12. You have Amani, who is 13. You have the Spence brothers. One is 13, the other one is 16. Joel and Jacob Spence. Then you have that fought last night, Cassius Brooks, who was a big heavyweight, and then you also have Trey, another heavyweight. So we want a couple of guys down there.
So now I know that you do the CMOS. We already spoke about you're an insider in the game. You also are part of the what's it called, the YBT. The YBTC community? Is that am I saying it right?
YouTube boxing community. I have a YouTube channel. Yes.
How does that work? How does because I'm gonna be honest, you put me on to the community.
YouTube is pretty much like a freelance. Anybody can have a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
That is, everybody's not connecting type of people, And one thing about YouTube, like I said, anybody could create a YouTube channel, but when it comes down to the business of boxing, certain stand out from others. And I'm just not talking about views or stuff like that, because you have channels that don't really do no views, and you could put my channel in that. But if you go on my channel and you see the type of people that I have interviewed, the type of coverage that I have, you would say to yourself, how is this guy pulling that stuff off? It's because, like I
Right.
said, unlike a lot of other channels, just like I just read off those couple of those amateur fighters, I'm actually hands on,
Right.
with
Now,
coaches, fighters, managers, things of that nature.
I've noticed with the little time that I've been around, this community, that more drama sells more than actual legit content. Why do you think that is so?
Well, it's like you said it yourself, drama. And if you look at today's society, um, sells on TV, reality TV shows, the Love and Hips, I don't want to use the derogatory a word, but like the F word, F bomb, uh,
Right.
stuff, like messiness. That's what sells. So if you have messy business instead of serious business, what are people going to cling to? The messy business. Whereas if you have serious business, serious substance, it's like that's boring, that's not exciting. But if you have like a tenth of truth, and then you put a spin on it, and you create a thumbnail. That's what it's called on YouTube, a thumbnail.
Mhm.
And like right now, how I'm talking to you, and you ask me this question, and I repost this, but I switch it around. I say, yeah, Captain Chaos asked me about the YTC. Now that's what you did. Now I'm going to put the twist on it. Captain Chaos comes out and says that the YTC is destroying boxing. You see
Right.
how I put the spin on it? And all
Right.
you
Right.
asked
Right.
me
Right.
was, that's what pretty much sells when you put that twist on it, you
So
know?
you're telling me that a bullshit story is gonna sell more than something you're putting out, like a Jihad Tucker, and you're making a blockbuster deal with Jay Prince, the rap mogul. That's what you're telling me, that the bullshit, like bullshit's gonna sell more than true content.
Facts. A prime example of that is when the National Choir was in circuit. I don't know if it's still in circuit.
Right.
The National probably sold more papers than the Daily News.
Facts.
And how much truth was the National Enquirer?
Probably for what, 2%?
Exactly.
Right, right, right.
Exactly.
But do you think that the majority of the people know your true dealings? Because, like I said, you're actually, how close are you with Jay Prince?
Absolutely they know. I'm cool with Jay Prince's family members. Shout out to Mike Prince. But like you see me on Las Vegas Strip driving
Right.
with Uncle Jay. But
But
absolutely.
let me
Jihad did
interrupt
an
you for one
interview.
second. Let me interrupt you. Are we talking about the same Jay Prince who found the Ghetto Boys?
Yes, 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 yes.
Are we talking about the same Jay
Uncle
Prince that
Uncle Jay, yes.
the
Shout out to
same Jay
Uncle
Prince
Jay.
that found Drake?
Yes, yeah. Shout out to his son Jazz. Actually, Jazz discovered,
Correct.
Jazz was the one that bought Drake to his father. And at first, I don't know if you're familiar with the story. Uncle Jay didn't see the vision at first. He didn't
Right.
think Drake was the truth, but you see what happened with that. Shout out Drake is a big artist. But yeah.
So you're
People
telling me
people
that,
people know because prior to Jihad did interviews, and Jihad told this story to many people. Ellie Setback probably has one of the biggest boxing platforms, and Jihad Tucker said this on Ellie Setback show. I made the phone call. That's when I was going by the artist formerly known as Jackal Fitness. He said Jackal Fitness called Mike Prince, who Mike Prince is related to Jay Prince. And that's when the meeting and everything was set up. We had COVID. Remember when COVID first kicked
right?
off in March? Because Shakur Stevenson was fighting at the Hula Theater. And that's when everything was gonna initially fold. But then we had the COVID shutdown. But everybody stayed in, conversation, and then when it happened, it just happened. But it would have happened before COVID.
So now let's say I bring you a fighter, right? I bring you a fighter.
Yeah.
I think this kid is nice, and you see him, and you're like mesmerized, like, yo, this fighter, yo, this kid is gonna be, he's gonna be the next one. He's the next Jahai.
Yeah.
How strong is your power with Jay Prince?
Well, basically, what I would do is, if he's that good, right, I'm gonna call the person that I call for jihad, and the same thing will go on. They'll check him. They'll tell him to come down to James Prince's boxing gym. They will have their fighters down there set up. He will spar. That's probably when Uncle Jay, his partner, shout out to A, and those guys down to be there. And if they like what they see, you never know. He could be the next Jihad Tucker.
Now, there's actually, because I've actually seen the video. Like, you're actually driving on the Vegas Strip with Jay Prince.
Yeah, that was after Jihad Tucker's fight. Yep. We was give you the background on that.
Go ahead, give it to me.
We was Jihad at fort in the bubble. We was pod in the front. They was all in there. Jihad, his father, his brother, and Jihad. They well, look, Uncle Jay. That's Uncle Jay, right? Why would he call a Uber? Why would he call Uber to go home? His car is outside. You know what I'm saying? His car is outside because we have to leave and call it the night. So call a Uber or car service to take him home when there's actual cars outside. So he comes outside, he jumps in the car and drives himself home. And that's what. So now, no, I'm gonna tell you, that's what you seen. And I was talking to him, and me being who I am, right? I'm like, man, nobody's going to believe me, right? That's how this played out. So we're all celebrating. So when you see the video that you see, that's me. Like, I'm like, look, this is for all you non-believers. That when I told y'all Jahad was gonna get signed with James Prince, and you guys laughed at me. Look at it now. Who's laughing now? And that's the video that you seen.
And now, so we already spoke about Jay Prince being the rap mogul, but when it comes to the boxing industry, this is the same Jay Prince that had Floyd Mayweather, correct?
Fact. Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, now Shakur Stevenson, now Jihad Tucker, Troy Isley, Duke Reagan. I'm forgetting a couple more fights, but Jared Anderson, Big Baby Anderson, forgive me.
Big Baby,
he might be the future heavyweight champion in a couple years. Can't forget him.
Right, and that's all part of your family. That's all part of
the Jay Prince boxing. What's the name? I wouldn't say my fam. I'm Team Tucker, and what we got going on. But as far as the James Prince boxing stable, which Jihad Tucker is underneath, yes, they are all James Prince boxers.
Now, something that I admire in you, is you're a very big family man.
Yes.
You're always with you're always with your daughters. You could always be seen. You could always be seen with your daughters. Can you give us some insight on your family?
Yes, I have 2 daughters. That's who I do this for. They will be taking over the media ranks very soon, sooner than people think. March 19th, that fight week, they have a lot of interviews lined up. The Source Sisters, that's what we're calling it. The Source Sisters Boxing Chronicles, where my daughters will be interviewing, hitters in the game, fighters, coaches of that nature. I leaked out a couple early ones, where you see my daughters interviewing Jihad, his father, Coach Joe Harris, and a lot of the footage, that was my daughter playing around with the camera. When you see us in the gym and recording Jihad and stuff, that's her. I've been grooming her since an early age. be in the game.
Now, Sha, I have you've taken me under your wing. You know what I'm saying? Showed me the ropes and everything. And I got a lot of love for you, but I gotta hit you with a hard question, man. How is it competing with those two superstars that you have? Because I got a lot of love for you, but you're always taking L's whenever they're around, because everybody tends to shift towards them and you kind of get left behind. You know what I'm saying? How's that
Well,
feeling like?
that's one of the best feelings in the world, and I'm glad you brought that up because the last fight we went to, well, the last two fights, but the one in particular at the Hula Theater, October 30th, ESPN Top Rank picked Coach Reen out. And when you see me sitting front row, I had good seats already. But when you see me ringside, Coach Reen got those tickets. They picked her out, and she definitely lets everybody know that. Yes, and they interviewed her. She had an interview, her own interview on ESPN Plus that night. And you
Now,
are absolutely correct. They are the showstoppers. So I take a back seat to them, and being the proud father that I am, I'm happy. One of my greatest accomplishments.
now, we all know that boxing is a dirty business. You know what I'm saying? That's not an argument. We could all attest to that. But then when you come through an individual like yourself, who's a family man, hardworking man, a jack of many trades, and I'm gonna have to even say that you are a master of all of them. You know what I'm saying? Um, you should be promoted to the fullest, because if boxing is such a dirty game, here you have an ambassador of the sport who's actually family first, right? um Puts in his 9 to 5, you know what I'm saying, and at that same time finds a way to become an entrepreneur. It's very hard to find that in the boxing game, correct?
Yeah, yeah. But if you think about it, like like I said, I've been in it for a while. A lot of the boxing insiders are all connected through family. You have, for example, Top Rank. Let's talk about Top Rank. Bob
Right,
Arum, right? His, the guy that's probably going to take over after him, Todd DeBow. That's his son-in-law. That's his son. So that's
right,
the pretty much the niche in the game, and you see that with the PBC with Tom Brown, TGB, the Goosens, his family, it's Tom
right.
Brown, his brother, his family, his daughters, his sons. You see that with the Watsons, with Sam Watson. You have Sam Watson, then you have his two sons. So I pretty much followed that protocol. I seen that from, like I said, being around it, and I was like, I can get a head start on this now with my daughters, and that's the blueprint that I ran with.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I see, like I said, Jamali Tucker probably will be a professional because what is he, 13? Or if he's not an Olympian, I think I'll be one of the hottest boxing talent scouts in the game, because that'll give me how many fighters that I told people were the real goods. Like I said, if Allen, who you're putting me on to now, turns out to be somebody and an asset to any of these promotional companies or managers, 5 years from now, they'll be talking about, yo, this guy, the source, man, he was discovering all the talent.
Right. And like I said, I've been around you, and I definitely see that. I definitely see that in 5 years from now, you're definitely gonna be untouchable. And one thing about you is you're a very humble person. Like I said, man, we met through a tragedy, a tragic moment. We'll talk about that now. We met through the passing of Patrick, and my question to you is, how was that? That relationship that you had with the late great Patrick Day.
Oh, man, I'm glad you brought that up because to be honest, man, shout out to Patrick Day, man. The Haitian sensation. That is the name that I gave him. But more importantly, actual real interview when I started taking it serious was with Patrick Day. Shout out to Joe Higgins. They opened their door for me and they allowed me to interview Pat. And our relationship grew after that. I covered him many times. Can I give a quick backstory? You know how this game is, and I couldn't get media credentials, right? I couldn't get media credentials. This is for the Bevo fight when Bevo fought Jean Pascal at the Hard Rock Cafe in Atlantic City.
Okay.
I couldn't get media credentials. They was giving me a hard time. Joe Higgins made the call to Kathy Duva and Main Events and the people over there, and I got credentials the day of the fight. So that should just tell you the type of relationship and respect that I have with Joe Higgins and Patrick Day. And then I went on to continue to cover Pat. I covered him at remember he fought on the Danny Jacobs.
Right.
The card when Danny Jacobs won the title at the Hula Theater against Sergey Domachenko. I was one of his media guys at that fight. And one of my best interviews I could say is the one with Patrick a week before the tragedy of his fight with Charles Conwell, where he, that is a touching interview for me, where I asked him to give the kids an inspirational quote or something, and he said, "Life is short. You never know." And that was one of my last interviews with him, and what transpired after that. But that always stuck with me. That quote that he said about life being short and go after your dreams.
All right. My production team has already told me that we got to start winding it down. But you know what? I want to definitely invite you back to the platform because there's a lot of information that I still need to get out of you. Like I said, you have so much knowledge in this game that I know that a lot of people are going to be interested to keep hearing from you, and I hopefully you could come back and you could share that knowledge with us.
Of course, man. Of course, man.
We still got to talk about. Like I said, we still got to talk about all those great interviews you've had with Iran Barkley. We also got to talk about World Combat. Scotty White, we got to talk about him. Hopefully, we'll have him on. And we also I want to talk about also your channel. There's so much we got to talk about. Like I said, man, I consider you a great friend, a confidant. Just so everybody knows that I got a nickname for you. I call you my padrino. Everybody knows that means the Godfather. You've always looked out for me, and I can't say that I'm paying it forward because you have like you say you have what's the word you say the there's a word you say, a special word, not the seasoning,
the sauce.
You got the sauce. You have the sauce.
That's what you have. You got it right now. Captain Chaos has the sauce, man.
I'm definitely going to bring you on numerous times because we have so much to talk about. We got to talk about your channel. I definitely want to know. And I know the public definitely wants to know about Jahai's future. Any other fighters that you're looking out, to put on the next level, and what these young fighters have to do to reach a status where they could actually come to you with the package, and then you could do whatever you got to do to bring them to the next step of their career.
Yes. And what I want you to do for me too.
Yes, sir.
We talk about Allen. Send me some YouTube stuff on him.
Done deal.
Send me some YouTube stuff on Allen. Like I said, continued success with you, man. You're doing your thing, man. You are big in the game. You are big in the game. I know you're going through your things with these guys on the YTC. Listen,
we'll talk about that next time. We're definitely going to talk about that next time. But let me tell you something, man. It was a great honor having you on. Your knowledge is insane. To actually be a part of a family that had to do with the Ghetto Boys, Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward is insane in itself. That's like a person's dream, and you're right there, conversating with them. You know what I mean? And that's something that I want to talk more about. And like I said, man, I wish you nothing but the best. I will be seeing you very, very soon. We're gonna have all your social media stuff on this platform when we wrap everything up. Everybody's gonna know how to get in contact with you. Like I said, to all those young fighters out there, if you want that extra push or that extra help, this is a man that, listen, I solidified this man. I put my word on it. This man right here is one of the few good men in this dirty sport. He's a good man, and the reason why I know that is he's a family man. Family man comes first. Sha, I wish you nothing but the best, and I will see you back on this platform hopefully very soon.